Take it away.
Thank you for the introduction, and Jody and Nancy as well, and everyone at CARA for the invite to this important forum on very important topics and issues in this race as well. It all surrounds the health of the American people, especially our senior population. So just a quick introduction. My name is Phil Arballo. I'm running in this race in the 22nd Congressional District, and my opponent is Republican Devin Nunes. And I grew up right here in the Central Valley, just like Senator Hurtado did as well. It is a very special place to me, and that's why I am running to get some real representation back to the Valley. My family deserves a representative who is present and invested, and my constituents deserve a voice it can trust and be proud of in Washington. I was the first in my family to graduate college here at Fresno State. Go Bulldogs! And now I'm raising my own family here. I have a 2-year-old and an almost 7-year-old, and my wife is at home. Unfortunately, because of COVID, she hasn't been back to work in her job, and she's part of this community teaching and doing some Spanish teaching, translations, interpretation services in the district. The issue of Social Security, Medicare, and healthcare is super personal to me because of what it means to my family. Having the option to get affordable health care here in the Central Valley. I have a son with a pre-existing condition. He has asthma. That's how I grew up here, and to make sure that his inhaler and the medication that he needs and we all need affordable. But it's also personal to me because my mom, who is now 65 years old, is receiving Social Security benefits, and she has been actually since she was about 55, 56. Because of a disability, she was no longer able to work. So, she had paid into that program her entire life since she was 18 years old, and she was finally able to receive those benefits at about 58 for Social Security disability. And of course, that helps her not being able to work. As we know, it's super important. And it's also important because my aunt, who was born with Down syndrome, is dependent and on Social Security disability, and has been since she was a teenager, and that income was able to help my grandma out, raise her. And now she is living with my mom right now that my grandma has passed away. And so both of them in the house, it's very personal for them to make sure that it's not only there for them, but it's solvent and it's strong. And just like Congressman Cox said, we've seen that this administration has done everything in its power now, especially with this payroll tax deferral, to defund Social Security and really threaten the livelihood of people like my mom and my aunt, who depend on services through Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid that they're receiving right now. So as a member of Congress, it's an important issue. The healthcare issue overall is very important to make sure that it's affordable for every American, that we're not taking away anyone's right to have affordable and quality healthcare. We're protecting those with pre-existing conditions, and we're making it more affordable on the prescription drug side, the premium side, and that it's here for future generations. I've paid into Social Security as working since I was 18 years old as well. And on the reverse side as well, I in my business as financial services, I do see clients who rely heavily on their Social Security that come into my office, and we're looking at their financial goals and their needs and wants, and of course we take into account that Social Security that they're receiving, and it's super important to them and their spouse once they pass away, and how much they're going to receive from there. So my view is that this needs to be a program that is not only maintained, but it is strengthened through things like more aggressive cost of living adjustments that need to keep up with inflation here in the 21st century, and we really need to make sure that it's there for the long run. And as far as our housing here in the 22nd and in California, it's extremely high cost of living here, which is why COLA is so important. But we need to do more in making sure that every person has a roof over their head and can afford a roof over the head, with working with organizations, third-party organizations, non-governmental organizations, to open up more affordable housing units. And we can do so much right here in the 22nd on making sure that everyone has a roof over their head, and they have assistance in making sure that they can pay their rent, especially during times like right now, where we know that there are people that are on the cusp of eviction because they lost their job through this pandemic. And unfortunately, this administration has pretty much said, you're on your own at this time. It's really been up to our state and our local governments to provide that eviction assistance. So, as a member of Congress, I will be working with them because I understand what it's like to have to, work paycheck to paycheck. Having done so to put myself through college and raise a family, and I know what it's like to get tight in the wallet, where you need to make sure where's my next rent check coming from, or what am I going to have to do to budget for a family of four. So that's a little bit about me and my thoughts on these two very important issues here. The CAR works for and works with the local elected officials with, and I hope I get to earn everyone who can vote for me their support and make sure they vote early enough in this election, because again, it is a very critical election, literally life or death for a lot of us in the 22nd and in the Central Valley.